Hi, I'm Gina Martin, managing broker of GMR Realty. And have you been seeing all the talk about windmills coming to your area? I've been getting lots of questions from property owners about what's going to happen to my property value if these windmills go up. So here's some information for you that will hopefully answer a lot of your questions. Feel free to share with your neighbors, friends, and family. Do wind turbines affect property values? With more wind turbines and wind farms being placed on or near personal property, it's an important question being asked by property owners, town officials, and sitting committees. We're not talking about small windmills or do-it-yourself windmills. We're talking about the large industrial farm wind turbines. The turbines found in wind farms are typically about 400 feet tall from base to blade tip or larger. And from what I understand, the ones going up in Carroll County possibly are much larger than the 400 feet. Do these types of windmills affect property values? Wind turbine companies will tell you no. And so do their advocates, but do they have something to protect by saying they don't? Of course they do. What company would ever admit that their product is going to damage a person's quality of life? And then groups against windmills or against turbines and wind farms say it does. They cite noise, the blinking lights, the views, and other factors. But they also have something to gain by doing so. They're in groups against them. So they don't want them going up anywhere probably. The question is, who do you trust about this kind of debate with such opposing views? The answer is neither one of those. You go to an unbiased professional with nothing to gain from the outcome, no matter what it is. People with property valuation knowledge that value properties and sell properties on a full-time basis. People like appraisers or realtors such as I, who have nothing to gain by taking sides on the debate, making us the perfect barometers of the public's perception of wind turbines and their effect on property values. In 2009, there was a wind turbine impact study. The effect of the wind turbines on property values. To ensure the most comprehensive view, they approached this valuation issue through three complementary components, each looking at the value impact of the wind turbine from a different perspective. This is why I like this study so much. The three parts were a literature study, which reviews and summarizes what has been published on the matter found in the general media, an opinion survey, which was given to area realtors to learn their opinions on the impact of wind turbines in their area, sales study, which compared actual vacant residential lot sales and improved lots within the wind turbine farm area to comparable sales located outside of the turbine influence. So let's focus on value for a moment. Perception equals value. The key to understanding real estate value is to understand it is based on perception. Perception drives a buyer's buying decision. Perceived enjoyment of a home or perceived income stream of an investment. Perception need not be based on proven scientific fact. Say in haunted house versus power lines, one's likely opinion or hearsay, the other you can see the power lines, it's a fact. When the buyer acts on this perception through a buying action, you have established value and the effects of the perception. Here's the perception of turbines. They cause health problems through noise and deep ultrasonic sound waves and sleep deprivation. But the facts is, last I checked, it's not proven as a scientific fact. However, the jury is still out and there is published literature on the issue. The perception is that they are noisy, which is true depending on wind, size, age, and distance. A perception is they cause light flickering, which is true depending on, again, location and your distance. And they are unsightly and ruin views. And that, again, is true both far and near. It's true far and near. What drives perception? So we know media, printed media, electronic media, and internet media definitely drive perception. We've all really learned that in the last few years. To measure this perception of media, they conducted a literature review of health issues. Articles found on health disorders include sleep deprivation, headaches, dizziness, anxiety, depression, vibroacoustic disease, and wind tower syndrome. Who Community Noise Paper of 1995 counters this claim that it doesn't affect everyone. Wind industry has counterclaims stating no health impact. But again, they're wanting the windmills up. Measuring perception. To measure the impact of this perception, they did two things. They conducted a realtor survey of realtors who worked in a wind turbine area, and they conducted an impact study using sales of properties impacted by wind turbines compared to those that were not impacted by turbines. The realtor survey, it's learning from those in the trenches of buying and selling. They're actually out there, they're doing it, and they do this on a normal basis. The focus was on residential land use, both vacant and improved. The visual field proximity. How far were these turbines from these properties? 600 feet from the turbine was considered border. 1,000 feet from the turbine was considered close. And a half a mile from the turbine was considered near. Again, the survey used realtors that were in actual wind farm turbine areas for this study. The question of impact of wind turbine to vacant land. On vacant land, the results are 82% of the realtors said negative if border. Those were the closest. Loss estimated at negative 43%. 69% negative if close. Loss estimated negative 36%. 59% negative if near. Loss estimated at negative 29%. The realtor results on wind turbine to improved property, which means there were houses on this property. If it's improved property, it has a home on it. We had 91% of the realtors say negative if border. Those were the closest turbines, with a loss estimated at negative 39%. 86% of the realtors said negative if close. This is within 1,000 feet. Loss estimated negative 33%. And 6% realtors negative if near. And near was within a half mile. Loss estimated at a negative 24%. Comparing actual vacant residential lot sales within the wind farm area to comparable sales located outside of the wind farm area. We had Blue Sky Greenfield and Forward Wind Farms results. They both showed that the homes sold for less in the farm areas, and they were substantially less sales available within the areas than outside of it. And the impact of the wind turbines on vacant residential land is in the range of negative 12 to negative 30%. And the impact of the wind turbines on vacant residential land is in the range of negative 19% to negative 40%. So we're going to say negative 12% to negative 40% is the impact of wind turbines on vacant residential land. The loss range corresponds on both of them with the realtor survey. So the conclusion of perception of wind turbines impact on property value. 1, the media has reported on negative health issues and value issues influencing negative perception. 2, the realtor survey indicated that these perceptions are real in the market. 3, impact studies suggested the values are substantially negatively impacted in the range of negative 12% to negative 40%. And 4, the further away it shows less impact. So in conclusion, what do most realtors think of a property that once had an attractive view shed, but now looks at wind turbines? According to the research, an overwhelmingly majority of realtors says the wind turbines negatively impact property values. They estimate the range of impact could be from 10% price reduction to being completely unsellable. We also find that in this study, from the ever-growing wealth of data, we know how the general public and academic and scientific communities view wind turbines. And as many competent real estate professionals know, perception determines value, and perception is reality. Whether or not wind turbines are a reliable source of renewable energy is not the issue here. The only issue we're concerned with is if wind turbines impact the property values. So do wind turbines affect property values? It's found that in most cases, yes, they do. This research has shown that when a property's value depends on the view shed, wind turbines negatively affect property values. That just makes sense. If someone buys a property for a beautiful view, but now that view is filled with the wind turbines, it's going to affect the appeal and thus the value of that property. However, in a case where the best use of the property does not depend on view or noise, obviously the effect can be negligible. So in the end, common sense says if people don't like windmills, they're not likely going to look at buying your home if you're close to one. Therefore, that does cause less potential buyers than if there were no windmills. Concludes less value for your home. Don't shoot the messenger here. I'm just here as your local realtor bringing the community information they're asking for. Remember, this is a community that belongs to all of us. Let's be sure to go with the facts from data and from professionals with nothing to gain and nothing to lose from the outcome, no matter what it is. Please like this video. Please share this video. Those who need to hear this information, I'm sure would like to hear this. I hope it is of help to all of you. Feel free to contact me with any other concerns or questions. Stay updated on local real estate happenings on my Facebook pages, Gina Martin Realtor and GMR Realty. And I have a YouTube page you can look up as well with videos. My phone number and email will be at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Remember to share and like this video. I hope it helped you out. Leave comments or questions if you would like me to answer any other questions you might have. Thank you. Have a great weekend.